Hey, fourth and fifth graders, happy Monday. I'm so excited because today we are going to begin a new chapter. Now, as you remember from us talking about this before, our chapters in fifth grade are really long, so it takes us quite a bit longer to get to a test than it is my third graders. You might be seeing the third graders having a test every couple of weeks. Well, that's because their chapters are shorter, okay? So don't worry about that. We are doing exactly what we need to do. We are going to be moving to our next chapter today. And I think that you're going to really enjoy this because in our next chapter, you are going to be learning about something that you're going to see quite a bit in life, whether at the store, looking at markdowns of 30% off or 50% off or 70% off. And you guys are going to be able to calculate how much the cost of things will be after a percentage is taken off. And we're going to be understanding what a percent actually is. Now, a percent, everybody say percent for me. Awesome. Percent. We are on chapter 10, just in case you guys are curious, and we will be on page 103 in your textbook, okay, to start off today. But a percent is actually just another way to express a whole, right? So far this year and last year, we've learned about fractions, and we know that fractions are a way to express a part of a whole. And we've also learned about decimals, right? That's what our last few tests have been on, actually. So decimals, fractions, and percents kind of have the same job, okay? They all help you express or show how much of a whole you have, okay, or a part of a whole. So let's go ahead and take a look at page 103, okay? We're going to look through an example with some tulips about how these tulips that are yellow and red can show a part of a whole, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and show you some different symbols for percentages, and we're going to talk through it a little bit more, okay? So here we go. I'm going to show you our page and let's read this together. So here's our vocabulary word that we're going to be seeing today. It's percent. That's our new word. Okay. Let's go ahead and read this. Percent is another way of writing a part of a whole. So if I take a look at this, there are 100 tulips. Okay. So in the field, we have 100. 75 of them, look, this is 50, 60, 70, 75. 75 of them are red. So 75 out of 100 tulips are red. There are 3 ways that you can express this. So we could say 75 out of 100 this way. We could also say 75 hundredths, okay, because there's 100. Or you could say 75%. Everybody take a look at this symbol right there. That is a percent symbol. And when you're working with percents, you need to make sure to have that at the end, okay? So she says, just to help you out, compare the number of red tulips with the total number of tulips. Well, there are 75 red tulips, and there's 100 tulips total, all right? So 75% is read as 75%. So 75% means 75 out of 100. And I think that's a very good example because it shows you the relationship between percents, fractions, and decimals, okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at page 104. It's going to look like this. I'm not going to show it for you too long. Because we're going to work through it together. All right, let's take a look at number 1. We have an array. Everybody say array. Good. And an array is something in math where you have dots or stars or anything like that that can help you with multiplication, but it also helps you organize information and to be able to see it clearly. I like how in this array they made lines of 10 circles. That helps me see them more easily. So it says there are 100 beads. 38 of them are red. Express 38 out of 100 in a fraction form, a decimal form, and a percent form. So let's do this first. Let's do the fraction form. Everybody write on your whiteboard what you think it should be. Pause the video. Okay, so I know that there are 38 out of 100 that are red. So my fraction form is going to look like 38 reds out of or over 100. Did you get that right? Okay, let's try the next one. Let's write this in decimal form. Pause the video. Awesome job. Okay, so I have 0.38. And my 8 goes to the hundredths place because I have 100 total. Let's go ahead and try the percent now. Pause the video. Excellent. So if you said 38%, you are correct. You have to have this symbol when working with percents, guys. You cannot just put 38. Otherwise, we don't know what you're talking about. So you need to make sure to put your percent symbol. Okay, now down below, we're going to read this together. It says, express a part of a whole as a fraction and a percent. The large square is divided into 100 parts. 25 parts are shaded. 10, 20, 25. So 25 out of 100 equal parts are shaded, or 25 over 100 of the large square is shaded. What percent of the whole is shaded? What percent of the whole is not shaded? So right now on your whiteboards, guys, I want you to answer both of those questions. Which part is shaded? And what percent is not shaded? Pause the video. Okay, if you said 25% of the large square is shaded, you're correct. And you should have written 75% of the large square is not shaded. You guys are doing great today. We're gonna just practice a little bit more. Let's look on page 105 in your student textbook, okay? You have number 2 at the top there, and you have a 100 flat, okay? And you have some yellow blocks there that are highlighted in. So your first green space says blank parts out of 100 parts are shaded. So we've got to figure out how many parts are shaded. Write on your board what you think that answer is. Pause the video. Excellent. So if you put 48, you are correct. On the next line, it says blank over 100 because it's out of 100 of the large square is shaded. Well, we already know that 48 pieces of that are yellow, so we're going to go ahead and plug that into our numerator. Okay? Now let's go ahead and do the percent. What do we think the percent is of the amount that is yellow? Go ahead and write it on your board. All right, if that's what you wrote, you're good to go. Now we're going to switch a little bit. Blank over 100 of the large square is not shaded. Go ahead and pause the video and count those. All right, so you should have 52 as your numerator there. Basically, you have 52 white squares. Now let's go ahead and convert this into a percentage, okay? we have 52% of the large square that is not shaded, okay? All right, let's take a look at number 3. It says, express each of these as a percent. Okay, cool. Let's do number 3. 72 out of 100. What would that look like as a percent? Pause the video. Great. It would look like this. Okay, what I would like for you guys to do today is I would like for you to do page 105 and 106 in your student textbook. Okay, let me show you something real quick, because on page 106, you're going to look at, instead of fractions into percents, you're going to look at decimals into percents, but it's basically the same thing. So let me give you a quick example. If I have this decimal, that's 3/100ths, right? So 3 out of 100, because your 3 is in your hundredths place. So then this is one way to express it. This is another way to express it. I've got to do the percentage way to express it. What would that look like as a percent, guys? Good, 3%, okay? So this is the kind of thing that you're gonna be doing like this on page 106, okay? But you guys are going to do awesome. Pause the video and write this on a piece of paper for me. Great work, guys. So here are your answers for this page. Double check that you have everything. And here are your answers for 106. You guys did great today on our first day of percents. I'll see you tomorrow.